everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Kitchen Witch Supernatural Cooking and Tarot Show. You're probably wondering why I have two crock pots ready to go. We are making two different recipes today. I'll do a separate video for the second one, but because we're using the same chunk of chuck roast for both recipes, we're going to start out with this beautiful, lovely chuck roast. We are making Italian pot roast, and we're making beef noodle soup. So the first thing I'm going to do is heat up a cast iron or heavy skillet with some olive oil, and we're going to just cover this with salt and pepper on both sides. I am going to cut this in half because half of it's going to go in my soup and half is going to go for my Italian pot roast. And so let me get my pan heating and get my oil nice and hot while I take care of the meat situation. This is a 2-pound chuck roast. It's nicely marbled, not too fatty. I particularly like to look for leaner cuts whenever possible. But we want to brown the beef first because it's going to give it a nice crust on both sides and bring out the flavor. And also you're going to render off some of the fat. Okay, I've seasoned both pieces of roast with some seasoning salt. You can just use salt and pepper if you like, if you don't have seasoning salt on hand. And my pan, the oil is nice and hot. You can see it shimmering. So this is ready to go. We're going to go ahead and lay these in the hot pan. And these are going to brown on either side until the meat pulls away from the pan and there's a nice dark brown crust. You're going to flip it and just leave this sit until you've got a nice crust. You don't want to cook it all the way through because we're going to let the slow cookers do their thing. Okay, so we're going to hang out here and I'll show you what it looks like after the first turn. Okay, while your beef is browning, slice up some onion, and then you're going to whisk together about a 1/4 cup or 3 tablespoons of tomato paste, some beef stock. I would say use 1 to 1.5 cups of unsalted beef stock, and then you're going to also add a packet of zesty Italian dressing mix and a good tablespoon of minced garlic. So I'm going to do that while my meat is browning. Okay, this meat is ready to be turned over. Look at that. That's what it should look like when it's got a nice crust, nice and golden brown. Look at that. It's beautiful. So we're going to let the other side cook. I did mix up the Italian seasoning mix. So I used 1.5 cups of beef stock, a 1/4 cup of tomato paste, 1 packet of zesty Italian dressing mix, and 2 heaping teaspoons of minced garlic. So that is ready to go. This is going to go on top of the Italian beef, along with some pepperoncini peppers and some juice and our sliced onion. Okie dokie, my meat is ready to go in the crock pot. It is seared on both sides. We're going to take this bigger piece, put it in here. This is going to be our Italian roast beef or Italian pot roast. And this is going to just go in here by itself. It's going to be used for our beef noodle soup, but I want to cook it first before I build the soup. The soup I'm going to do on the stove top. All right, so let's grab our stock mix and our onions, and I'll show you. It's super easy to do, very quick. One moment while I go grab those. Okay, here's our sauce mix. I don't want to put a whole lot of liquid in here because the juice from the meat will mix with the sauce, and it's going to make this beautiful au jus. This meat is going to get shredded up. You can serve it sandwich style. You can put it on an Italian hoagie. You can serve it with pasta or mashed potatoes, whatever you want to do. And I'm going to add some beautiful pepperoncini peppers and the juice, some of the juice from it. I have to do this with 2 hands, but I'm going to throw in maybe a third of this jar and about a 1/4 cup of the pepper juice. Okay, my pepperoncinis are pretty big, so I threw 5 of them in there, and again, it's about a third of the jar that I had, and about a 1/4 cup of the pepperoncini juice. So we're gonna cook this on high, low and slow all day. This is gonna cook for, I would say, 5 to 6 hours until you can pull it apart with a fork. And then our beef that we have that we're going to use for the beef noodle soup is also going to cook. I let it cook dry and let it just cook in its own juices because we're throwing it into soup. So quick and easy. If you're single and you've got a huge chunk of meat, you don't know what to do with it. Both of these dishes are very versatile. You can, like I said, do a lot with it. You can always freeze it for later, but there you go. This is going to be Italian beef pot roast, and then the start of our beef noodle soup. Thanks for watching, everybody. I'll come back with the other video for the beef noodle soup. Okay, it's been 5 hours, and our Italian roast beef is all done. It is super tender, juicy, and delicious. So let me just show you. What you'll want to do is shred this with a couple of forks, and you can, pick out any fat, and you would serve this with some of the sauce on a hoagie roll with some provolone or mozzarella cheese, or you can, put it over pasta on top of mashed potatoes, or just eat it plain. But that is my very own yummy Italian roast beef recipe. Check it out and enjoy.